Yeah, 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 yeah. All right. We are live on YouTube. How's everyone doing today? Welcome to Navigating the Modern World with Eli, the Walking with Purpose Live edition. Live again from Bread Park today. Okay, let me see where this person's going and go the opposite way. I've only got about 25 minutes or so to do what I need to do today. I thought I heard somebody say, "What's your channel called?" But I'm pretending like I didn't hear it because I don't have time. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be rude. It's just I've got a lot to put out. Take my walk, and I got some other plans for tonight. But I really wanted to get this in because we are starting to build momentum over here at the GNA Networking Association and GNA for short. I can't even talk. We're starting to build momentum here at the Genuine Networking Association, or GNA for short, and we've got to keep that momentum going. We're going to keep it going. I'm going to keep it going no matter what. Because I'll tell you why. Because I believe in myself. Just like you should believe in yourself. That's the key to everything. You got to believe in yourself. You got to have self-love, self-respect, self-appreciation. You got to know your self-worth. All these things I keep talking about daily and regularly. It sounds like a broken record, but that's what it takes. That's what it takes to make things happen. In any era, in any aspect of life, online, offline. You got to know your self-worth. You got to have self-love. You got to believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, then how the hell can you expect anyone else to believe in you? I keep saying the same thing every day. And if you think I sound like a broken record, that's fine. That's the whole point, because repetition is the mother of skill. The more and more and more and more and more you hear something, the more it becomes second nature. The more you learn it, the more you can accept it, the more you can live it. How do you think people pass tests in college or high school, etc., right? They reread the same thing over and over and over again until their brain comprehends it and memorizes it. Memorizes it. I want you folks to memorize self-love, memorize self-appreciation, memorize self-worth, memorize self-respect. That's why we're going to keep repeating it over and over and over and over again. Now, today is day one of the GNA, which is short for Genuine Networking Association. It's day one of the GNA membership drive. Between now and the end of the year, the membership drive will happen every single day. One way or another, it's either going to be a Walking with Purpose stream, an in-studio stream, or a combination of both when possible and when time permits. Because repetition is the mother of skill. If you mention something one time, no one cares. No one remembers to care. It doesn't stay top of mind. But if you talk about it every single day, for 30, 40, 50, 60 days straight, at that point, it becomes second nature. You got to fight for what you believe in, and you got to go after what you believe in. And I believe in my vision of the GNA. I believe in it. I believe in it because I believe in myself. Now, today we have a sub. We're going to have the membership drive happening every single day till the end of the year. But we're also going to have an actual topic as well. And today's topic is accepting and coping with loss. One more time, today's topic is accepting and coping with loss. And I was tremendously inspired to do this topic by one of our best supporters here named Tia. Tia, God bless you. I know you believe in God, and I know most people out there believe in God. The GNA believes in God. We are a God-loving organization, but you're still welcome to join us if you don't believe. We're not going to discriminate. But just understand, if you become a part of this organization, which is free of charge, and right now all you have to do is show up and watch these streams, thumb them up, share them out, chat in the live chat, comment on the live stream replays or pre-recorded videos. That's all you have to do. But if you join us, just know you're a part of a God-loving organization. Again, you don't have to believe in God to be a part of us, but just understand we believe, right? And we're not going to try to change your beliefs. We're not here to do that. What we're here to do is inspire you, motivate you, uplift you. Oh, go ahead. Nowadays, people are not aware of their surroundings. How in the world is this car trying to go out the wrong way? This is ridiculous. So, let's talk about accepting and coping with loss. In life as humans, we experience many losses. When I'm talking about a loss, it could mean a death of a spouse, which is a boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, domestic partner. It could mean the death of a pet. It could mean the death of a friend. It could mean the death of anyone that we care about and we're close to. Or it could also mean that we care about people in general. And when anyone passes that we're aware of, we feel empathy towards. But loss doesn't only mean death. Loss can mean a relationship breakup. And in many cases, based on my personal experience, in many of my relationships, when we split up, whether it was due to myself or the other side or a combination of both, it was a loss. And it hurt. And let me tell you something. I understand you can't compare a relationship breakup to someone passing away, but it still feels pretty shitty either way. Right? Hello, Tia. How are you doing? Welcome to the show. Just one lap today. Now, how do you cope with a loss, whether it's death or just someone no longer wanted to associate with you or be in a relationship with you, be a business partner, whatever. How do you cope with that loss? How do you cope with it? The very first thing you have to do is what I put in the title. You have to learn to accept it. The biggest problem, in my opinion, and it should be a fact, but I'll just say the biggest problem, in my opinion, that human beings have is accepting something as a reality, accepting the truth, accepting the situation. Because until you accept the situation, how the hell can you cope with it? You can't cope with something until you accept and understand the situation. And I understand that many people may not have as much experience as I do to be able to cope with things as well as I do. I'm able to cope with things as well as I have because of my past experience, and I'm 50 years old. But what if you're a 20 or 30-year-old? And you're trying to cope with something, but you have no idea what's going on. That's where we can come in, share our stories, and help you learn about your situation and help you learn to accept and understand what's going on so then you can start to cope with it, right? Until you learn to cope, until you learn to accept the situation and understand it fully, there's no way you can cope with it, and you're going to be stuck and not be able to move on. And if you become stuck in a situation like that, it can cause many issues, and you can spiral out of control, drugs, alcohol, or any other coping mechanism to mask the situation because you're not willing to accept it. You're not willing to learn to understand and accept the situation. That's what it boils down to. There are a lot of... My God, can we please move? There are a lot of things I've experienced in life that haven't gone my way, that I don't like. There are a lot of things I'm currently experiencing that I don't like, that are out of my control. And I have learned to accept those things, understand why those things are happening, and learn to cope with them and not let them affect me from moving forward, living my life, and accomplishing what I want to accomplish. And that's one of the main things we want to help people work through here at the GNA. That's what we want to do. Give me a second here. All right, we should be back. It is very difficult to deal with loss. I've dealt with loss in many ways. Most of you that have been following me for a while know my losses. But for those of you that are new, I lost my father over 14 years ago. And it took a big toll on me, and it really hurt. And it still hurts to this day. But I have learned to accept it and understand it, and I've learned to cope with it. I will never be over it because I love my father, but I'm able to cope with it in a normal and healthy way because I understand that everyone's time is going to come. And it just happened to be that my dad's time came a little over 14 years ago at age 76. No one is ever prepared for death or a loss or anything. It just happens. No one expects loss, but loss is going to happen. Things are going to not go your way, and people are going to pass away, and people are going to keep breaking up with each other. You're going to continue to experience lots of losses in your life. You got to learn to accept those losses, learn from them, and cope with them, and move on. So that way you can accomplish what you want. You know, in my 40s, I went through several relationships before finding the love of my life, which is Dawn. Been with Dawn over 3 years. Obviously, it's working. And don't get me wrong, I'm not perfect, she's not perfect, but we are right for each other. Because we have learned to understand and accept each other for who we are. And we both have our flaws. Everyone has flaws, no matter how good of a person you think you are or how perfect you think you may be. Everyone has flaws, including myself, including Dawn. But we've learned to accept those flaws of each other, and we just cope with it. We deal with it because we know no one's perfect, right? So in my 40s, I went through several breakups that really hurt. In my 30s, I went through breakups too, but they didn't hurt as much. You know why? Because when I was in my 30s, my thought process was I'm still young enough to attract a younger woman and or a woman around my age that still is able to have kids and blah, 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 right? Because I've always wanted to have kids, right? And as I got into my 40s, I was thinking, okay, there's still a possibility because even women in their mid to late 30s can still have kids. Becomes more risky after 40, and after 35, you start to get initial risks. But I was still hopeful, right? And because of all that, you know, I went through some breakups and they hurt me very much. Because I felt like my time was running out and I felt like I wasn't going to accomplish what I wanted to accomplish. Now, before I met Dawn, I got to the point of where I learned to accept that I will probably never have any biological children. Because I'm getting to an age where I'm going to attract older women around my age that can no longer have kids, or I may attract women even 10 years, 7 to 10 years younger that can still technically have kids, but they don't want to have kids. Or they've shut down their system. There are many procedures women can do, hysterectomies, they can tie their tubes, it's called tubal ligation. There's many methods of semi-permanent birth control like the IUD, and just, you know, as you get older, you know, your chances of having children if you haven't had kids and you wanted them are less. And was I disappointed that I never had kids? Yeah, a little bit. But you know what? I learned to accept it. And I said, you know what? At this point in my life, all I want to do is find someone that's like me, similar, that's kind, loving, sweet. If they have kids of their own or no kids, that's fine. If they can't have kids, that's fine. I just want someone that's like me, understands me, I understand them. And we just get along and we're great company for each other. And I found that in Dawn. I'd never found that before. But I had to learn to accept and cope with what I wanted but couldn't have. You feel like you are a loser at times if you can't accomplish certain things. But you're not a loser. It just wasn't meant to be for you. It wasn't in your cards. That doesn't make you a loser. It just means it wasn't meant to be. And what is meant to be is what you have right now. And if you don't have much right now, it just hasn't been meant to be yet. You can work on having what you want. You just first have to learn to accept your past losses. And that way you can cope with them to the point of where you can function and live your life normally. We are at 21 minutes. So right when I get back to the lot, I'm going to end the stream. And I have some plans for tonight. It's been a pretty busy week. So it's gonna slow down. It's gonna slow down. I'm gonna start to actually do these streams, the walking streams, much sooner in the early afternoon. It's just that Dawn and I have had a lot of stuff to take care of behind the scenes. And so her and I have been working together on some things, and we've been up later than usual and then sleeping in a little bit during the day. So everything is on track and everything is getting done. Just sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do, and it comes at the expense of being able to create content. But here's the thing: I love what I do here, but I gotta prioritize family and other more important things first. That doesn't mean we don't care about you folks out here. We do. But I am more so learning to prioritize. And hey, you know what? I'm still finding 25, 30 minutes to do these shows on days where I would have just normally said, hey, I'm just taking the day off. I could take the day off, right? But you know what? Right now, we're at the end of the year. We have this membership drive, and we want to keep it going. And by the way, like I mentioned on the show yesterday, I'm in progress. Sometime this week, I'll hopefully have it set to have a landing page on the GenuineNetworkingAssociation.org website where you can take the GNA Positivity Pledge. The GNA Positivity Pledge. All you have to do is enter your email, click the button that you accept the pledge, and that's it. And all you have to do is pledge positivity. No negativity, no drama, no hateful and abusive attacks towards other people, online or offline. No projecting of your insecurities. None of that. All positive. That's what the GNA Positivity Pledge is all about. You want to laugh about the Positivity Pledge? That's fine. If you're laughing at it, then you're not ready for it. Then you're a negative Nelly or negative Nancy. That's all it boils down to. You're either going to be a positive person or a negative person. If you're a negative person, it's because you're struggling internally to love yourself. That's all it boils down to, right? That's all it boils down to. It's funny to me also how some people are so miserable. And they talk about other people that don't even talk about them. It's just so funny when you haven't said a word to certain people for the longest time, many months or a year or so. But then something happens that's their fault, and they try to blame it on you. Oh boy. It's comical. Hide user from channel. and then Google block this person so they can't tag you in community posts. That's all it takes. That's it. And staying focused on positivity. We're at 25 minutes. I love all of you. Hope you enjoyed this brief show. Please like, share, subscribe, bang the bell, select the notifications. Make sure you go below in the description. Subscribe to the main channel, GNA, Genuine Personal Development. I'll be going live there from the studio sooner than you think. You never know. That's all. Have a good one. Take care, and as always, be good to each other.